My name is Sarah Deneen and I am proud to be a supporter of the Royal Humane Society. The Royal Humane Society recognises acts of bravery and heroism by members of the public and has been doing this for more than 250 years. I am delighted to have been invited to share just one of the amazing stories from their archives as part of the Society's initiative to publicise their work more widely in their 250th year. This story is from the year 1887. This was the year when Arthur Conan Doyle published his first Sherlock Holmes story called A Study in Scarlet. And it was the year after Robert Louis Stevenson published The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So our story has good company. This story describes an event that happened in the village of Dummer near Basingstoke. This has particular resonance for me as I grew up near Basingstoke in another small village and often visited Dummer. There's a particularly good pub there for evenings out with friends. The story is about a man called George Eales who rescued a small boy from a well. On the 7th of November 1887, a young woman went to draw water from one of the village wells at Dummer near Basingstoke. Some children had followed her into the well shed, and just after the bucket had been lowered, one of them, a boy of 4.5 years, tripped against the lid and fell down the mouth of the well. The boy says he caught the rope as he fell and must have kept his hold till he reached the water. The woman at once ran to alarm the neighbours, but when the bucket was drawn up, there was no trace of the child. Every effort was then made for his recovery, and as soon as a strong rope could be obtained, George Eales went down and found the boy struggling in the water. Holding on to the rope with one hand, he succeeded with much difficulty in tying with the other hand another rope round the body of the child, which was then drawn to the surface. Eales ascended afterwards. The child was livid and had all the appearance of being drowned, but was, after several hours, restored to animation. George Eales, who is 58 years of age, was faint and exhausted when he reached the surface, owing to the foul air at the bottom of the shaft. The well from which he rescued the boy was 258 feet deep, with 12 feet of water in it. It took 5 minutes to lower the man to the water and about the same time to raise him to the top of the well. And fully 20 minutes was occupied in securing the child and tying the rope. Eales tried, after getting the boy on his knee, to raise him to his chest and bring him to the top of the well with his arm round him. But finding himself too much overcome to attempt this, he remained below until the other was drawn up. Then, the rope being lowered again, he was brought to the surface in a similar manner. George Eales risked his life in this rescue and throughout showed great courage and coolness. Thank you so much for listening to today's story, which is one of thousands. Please take time to look at the Society's website, where you can read more stories like this one from the past and also stories from very recent years. If you feel able to make a donation to the charity, that would be fantastic. And there is also the opportunity to become a governor of the Society this year for just £100. This would mean being invited to a variety of Society events, including a special celebration at St Paul's Cathedral in September to mark the 250th anniversary. Thank you so much for your interest and support.